Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Apni Pathshala. So in the previous video I have completed up to topic 2, that is there a way one can grow more from the same land, from your first chapter of economics class 9, the story of village Palampur. Today I will start the topic 3, will the land sustain? Land being a natural resource, it is necessary to be careful in its use. Scientific reports indicate that the modern farming methods have overused the natural resource base. In many areas, green revolution is associated with the loss of soil fertility due to increased use of chemical fertilizers. Also, continuous use of groundwater for tube well irrigation has led to the depletion of the water table. Environmental resources like soil fertility and groundwater are built up over years. Once destroyed, it is very difficult to restore them. We must take care of the environment to ensure development of agriculture. So I will come to the purple box later. Okay, so let's see. Land is a natural resource. So it is necessary that we should be careful that which is the pattern we are using for land to be used in cultivation. Scientific reports indicate that the modern farming methods have overused the natural resources base. Yes, the HYV seeds, the chemical fertilizers, pesticides are so responsible for the depletion of land, because with the excessive use of this kind of chemicals that are present in HYV seeds, pesticides and fertilizers, the soil quality is deteriorating day by day, and from 1960s till date the soil is quite the land is overused because as the natural resource base, because most of the lands which are unable to bear such cultivation are not used properly. So we should be aware of the type of land that should get engaged in the cultivation of different kinds of crops. In many areas, green revolution is associated with the loss of soil fertility due to increased use of chemical fertility. Yes, if green revolution is in some areas, green revolution is mainly associated with the loss of soil fertility, because the use of chemical fertilizers has increased to an extent that it is destroying the quality of the soil. Also, continuous use of groundwater for tube well irrigation has led to the depletion of the water table. So, for tube well irrigation, the groundwater is actually used to water the fields. That is why it led to the depletion of the water table. Environmental resources like soil fertility and groundwater are built up over many years. Yes, soil fertility and groundwater needs much more time to get developed, because it is the water level should increase up to from a certain period of time, so that it gives enough water to sustain the agriculture and for drinking water. Then after a certain period of time, we will be unable to get water from the groundwater level, because the tube well irrigation needs lot of groundwater to irrigate the cultivated areas properly. Environmental, once destroyed, it is very difficult to restore them, obviously, because once we are destroying the groundwater level, then it needs a large period of time to have its level same as previous. We must take care of the environment to ensure future development of agriculture. Yes, we should take care of the environment for future development of agriculture, because without water and proper use of land, no cultivation will take place in the further future. So let us see in the purple box. Chemical fertilizers provide minerals which dissolve in water and are immediately available to plants. But these may not be retained in the soil for long. They may escape from the soil and pollute the groundwater, rivers and lakes. Chemical fertilizers can also kill bacteria and other microorganisms in the soil. This means sometime after their use, the soil will be less fertile than ever before. The consumption of chemical fertilizers in Punjab is highest in the country. The continuous use of chemical fertilizers has led to degradation of soil health. Punjab farmers are now forced to use more and more chemical fertilizers and other inputs to achieve the same production level. This means cost of cultivation is rising very fast. So, chemical fertilizers provide minerals which dissolve in water and are immediately available to the plants. Yes, the use of chemical fertilizers is mainly influenced that it is directly getting available to the plants and providing nutrition to them for growth. But these things are not actually retained in the plants. They retained in the plants or in the soil. They after some time escape in the soil and pollute the groundwater, rivers and lakes. Chemical fertilizers also kill some important bacteria and microorganisms that live in the soil. This means that after their use, the soil will be less fertile than ever before. Yes, because the bacteria and microorganisms are mainly responsible for the growth of the plants, because these organisms help in the nitrogen fixation, and if these organisms die, then no nitrogen fixation will take place and the soil will generally lose its fertility. The consumption of chemical fertilizer was highest in Punjab in the whole country. The continuous use of chemical fertilizer led to the degradation of soil health, and Punjab farmers are now forced to use more and more chemical fertilizer and other inputs to achieve the same production level. As Punjab is the Punjab got the most benefit after Green Revolution, so they are now forced to continue the use of more and more chemical fertilizers and other inputs to achieve the same production level. This means the cost of cultivation is rising very high. So the price of the products will also be high. Let us see. Number 4. You must have realized how important land is for farming. Unfortunately, not all the people engaged in agriculture have sufficient land for cultivation. In Palampur, about 1/3 of the 450 million families are landless. That is 150 families, most of them Dalits, have no land for cultivation. I told you earlier. Of the remaining families who own land, 240 families cultivate small plots of land less than 2 hectares in size. Cultivation of such plots does not bring adequate income to the farmer family. Okay, I will come to the purple box later. Let us see the next part. You can see the large number of small plots scattered around the village in the picture. These are cultivated by the small farmers. On the other hand, more than half the area of the village is covered by the plots that are quite large in size. In Palampur, there are 60 families of medium and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. A few of the large farmers have land extending over 10 hectares or more. So, how is land distributed among the farmers of the Palampur? Unfortunately, most of the people are engaged in agriculture, but they don't have sufficient land for cultivation. I told earlier that the larger farmers, out of the 450 families, the larger farmers will have more areas to cultivate, and the Dalits are generally hired for laborers, and they have no land for cultivation. Of the remaining families who own land, 240 families cultivate. So among the remaining families, 240 families are such that they cultivate small plots of land less than 2 hectares in size. Cultivation of such plots does not bring adequate income to the farmer. Obviously, because if you cultivate small plots of land, then how much products you will produce? Very less product, because in 2 hectares of land it is not possible to cultivate a huge amount of crop. So we can see that large number of small plots scattered around the village in the picture. So this is the picture. You can see that there are large amount of no, sorry, this is a picture 1.5. That large number of small plots are scattered. So see what kind of cultivation will take place. Most of the cultivation in large quantity will take place in the large areas, obviously, because they will generate higher crops to sell in the market. But the small plots are not so counted for cultivating more amount of crop. These are cultivated by small farmers. So the small lands are cultivated by the small farmers. On the other hand, more than half of the area of the village is covered by plots that are quite large in size. In Palampur, there are 60 families of medium and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. So, on the other hand, more than half of the area of the village is actually covered by the plots that are quite large in size. You can see in the figure 1.5 that most of the lands are quite large in size. Only there are some of the lands which are smaller, and there are smallest also in the upper left corner and the right upper corner. You can see in Palampur there are 60 families of medium and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares. So I told you earlier that the large farmers are only able to cultivate in more area of land. A few of the large farmers have land extending over 10 hectares or more. Yes, a few of the large farmers have land extending over 10 hectares or more. Now come to the purple box. In 1960, Govind was a farmer with 2.25 hectares of largely unirrigated land. With the help of his 3 sons, Govind cultivated the land. Though they did not live very comfortably, the family managed to feed itself with a little bit of extra income from one buffalo that the family possessed. Some years after Govind's death, this land was divided among his 3 sons. Each one now has a plot of land that is only 0.75 hectare in size. Even with improved irrigation and a modern farming method, Govind's sons are not able to make a living from their land. They have to look for additional work during part of the year. So in 1960, it is the story of a farmer living in Palampur. During 1960, there was a farmer named Gobind who had 2.25 hectares of largely unirrigated land. So he has 2.25 hectares of land, but that is unirrigated. So with the help of his 3 sons, he cultivated the land. Though they did not live comfortably, because 2.25 hectare is very small quantity of land to produce more crops, because it is not possible to cultivate crops in such small area. So somehow they managed to feed their family, and they got a little bit of extra income from their buffalo that the family owns. So after some years of Govind's death, this land was divided among his 3 sons. So now the land is divided. So if it is divided, the 2.25 hectares are divided, then think about the amount of land each son will get. Very small, that is 0.75 hectare in size. Even with improved irrigation and modern farming methods, Govind's sons are not able to make living from their land. How will they make living from their land? 0.75 hectare means very small area of land, and it is not possible to cultivate larger amount of crops in that small area. So they have to find odd jobs during other time of the year to sustain their family. But if they have not divided the land, then the 3 sons can easily cultivate more crops from the land itself. Here a graph is given, that is a distribution of cultivated area and farmers. So see the percentage of cultivated area, that is 36%, which is devoted to small farmers. 36% of the areas is devoted to 80% of the medium and large farmers, and 64% of the cultivated area is devoted to 20% of the small farmers. So let us see number 5. Who will provide the labor? After land, labor is the next necessary factor for production. Farming requires a great deal of hard work. Small farmers, along with their families, cultivate their own fields. Thus, they provide the labor required for farming themselves. Medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on the fields. Farm laborers come either from landless families or families cultivating small plots of land. Unlike farmers, farm laborers do not have the right over the crops grown on the land. Instead, they are paid wages by the farmer for whom they work. Wages can be in cash or in kind, that is crop. Sometimes laborers get meals also. Wages vary widely from region to region, from crop to crop, from one farm activity to another, like sowing and harvesting. There is also wide variation in the duration of employment. A farm laborer might be employed on a daily basis or for one particular farm activity like harvesting or for the whole year. Dala is a landless farm laborer who works on daily wages in Palampur. This means he must regularly look for work. The minimum wages for a farm laborer set by the government is rupees 115 per day, but Dala gets only rupees 80. There is heavy competition for work among the farm laborers in Palampur, so people agree to work for lower wages. Dala complains about his situation to Ramkali, who is another farm laborer. Both Dala and Ramkali are among the poorest people in the village. So I will tell you about the discussion of Dala and Ramkali. Let me make you understand this paragraph. So after the problems regarding the land, now the problem is labor. The problem is of labor. That is the most necessary factor for production. Farming requires a great deal of labor work. Yes, like plowing, sowing, harvesting, threshing, spraying fertilizers and chemical fertilizers and pesticides. These are the important works that every farming sector needs by labor. Small farmers along with their families cultivate their own lands. So small farmers have their own piece of small land and they cultivate with their families. They provide the labor required for farming themselves. Yes, their family members help each other and they cultivate the small area of land. The medium farmers and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their fields. So the medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their fields. Farm laborers come either from the landless families or the families cultivating small plots of land. So the farm laborers come generally from the families which do not have any land or the families which have land, very small piece of land, like this is a kind of unemployment also. You will study it later, that is disguised unemployment. So the laborer which is not needed in cultivation go and find work in other plots of fields and work under the medium or large farmers to sustain their family. Unlike farmers, farm laborers do not have the right over crops grown on the land. Yes, they will not have the right because they are actually hired. So they will get paid or they will get their expenses from the big large farmer itself. Instead, they are paid their wages by the farmer for their work. It is either in cash or in kind, that is crop. So sometimes cash is given and sometimes crops are also given so that he can sell it or take it to his family for further for further eating or any other purpose. So wages also vary from region to region and crop to crop, from one farm activity to another. From one region to another, if you go, then there are difference between wages. Also crop to crop, because some crops need more hard work and some crops need less hard work. And also one farm activity to other, because for sowing there will be different kind of wage, and for harvesting there will be different kind of wage, because sowing is much easier than harvesting, and harvesting is very tough. Harvesting needs more and more people to complete. There is also a wide variation in the duration of employment, because a farm laborer might be employed on a daily basis for one particular activity like harvesting, or for the whole year. So there is also differences, because harvesting needs more laborer, and during harvesting more and more workers are employed, so that harvesting gets completed in a small period of time. And some workers are there who are actually appointed for the whole year, means it is their daily work. Dalla, who is a landless farm laborer who works on daily wages in Palampur. This means that he have to look for work regularly, because he is a landless farm laborer, and one day he is doing harvesting of one land, and another day he is doing harvesting for another farmer. So he have to find his work, and the minimum wages of a farm laborer that is set by the government is 115, but he gets only rupees 80. So there is a heavy competition for work, because if he does not work properly, then the large and medium farmers will not pay him properly. So he was complaining to other laborers also. So one of them was Ramkali, who actually faced the same problem for working in the field. Both Dalla and Ramkali are among the poorest people in the village. So let us see their conversation. Dalla and Ramkali are among the poorest native of the village. It is difficult to find work these days. Dalla is speaking. It is difficult to find work these days. Only the large farmers hire us, and that too for very limited number of days. Okay, Ramkali is speaking. Ghanshyam, the large farmer, has just brought a harvester. So we are going to get even less work during the harvest season this year. Last year I worked for less than 5 months in the whole year. So Dalla is telling Ramkali that it is very difficult to find work these days, because only large farmers hire them, and that is for limited number of days, because they don't need so much laborer, because machines are getting invented and they use the machines. Because if you hire a labor, then you have to pay wages regularly to that labor, but if you buy the machines, then you can use it on your own method. Ramkali is telling, Ghanshyam, the large farmer, has just brought a harvester. See, Ghanshyam, who was one of the large farmer in the village, has just brought a harvester. So she is telling that they will get less work during the harvest season this year. Last year they have worked 5 months in harvesting, means from sowing to harvesting they have worked 5 months, but this year for harvesting they will not get any job. For only sowing or threshing they will get job. Now Dalla is telling, we have tractors for ploughing, harvesters for harvesting, threshers for threshing. Even for removing weeds, some farmers spray weedicide. So they have tractors for ploughing and harvesters for harvesting, threshers for threshing. Even for removing weeds, some farmers spray weedicide. So all kinds of machines are invented, and even for killing the weeds there are weedicides also. So obviously the farmers will buy the weedicides and they will spray so that weeds get died. They will not hire any labor, because hiring labor is much more tougher than getting all these products and use them. Ramkali is telling, this year I will have so let us see what Dalla is telling. I owe the local money lender rupees 2000. I had taken rupees 1000 last summer when no work was available in the fields. How will I ever repay? I hardly earn enough for 2 square meals. So after telling about the machines, Dalla is telling that he owes rupees 2000 to the nearby local money lender. So we have already read about that the small farmers took loans from the local money lenders, and they are actually unable to pay it, because they have a very small amount of land to pay the loan, because they don't have much cultivation of crops, and so that they will sell in the market and earn profit. So he is telling that in the last summer he had taken 1000 when no work was available. So he is thinking that how will he repay the loan of 2000 when he earned hardly the 2 square of meals. So you can see that what is the condition of Dalla. He actually earns so less that he cannot even fulfill 2 square meals per day. Now Ramkal is saying that this year I will have to look for work in the brick making unit in Raiganj. My situation is not much better due to past debt. The moneylenders refuse to give me any loan. So Ramkali is telling that she will search work in the brick making unit of Raniganj to sustain her family. So her situation is not so good, not so better, and due to the past debt, the moneylenders actually refuse to give her any loan. So number 6, the capital needed in farming. You have already seen that the modern farming methods require a great deal of capital, so that the farmer now needs more money than before. Number 1, most small farmers have to borrow money to arrange for the capital. They borrow from the large farmers or the village moneylenders or the traders who supply various inputs for cultivation. The rate of interest on such loans is very high. They are put to great distress to repay the loan. Number 2, in contrast to the small farmers, the medium and large farmers have their own savings. They are thus able to arrange for the capital needed. How do these farmers have their own saving? You shall find the answer in the next section. So, after labor, capital is the most important factor for farming, because without capital you cannot buy seeds or any other important machineries or fertilizers for sustaining the crops. So number 1, small farmers borrow money from the moneylenders to buy the seeds. They borrow money from the local traders or the village moneylenders who also supply various inputs for cultivation. The rate of interest of such loans are very high, because the sources are actually informal, so the interest will also be high. They are put to great distress to repay the loan. So the small farmers face huge problems to repay the loan because of the higher amount of interest. And rather than the small farmers, the medium and large farmers have their own savings for farming. They are thus able to arrange for the capital needed. So we will read about how the farmers actually have their own savings in the next section. Let us see a case of a small moneylender named Savita. Savita is a small farmer. She plans to cultivate wheat on her 1 hectare of land. Besides seeds, fertilizers and pesticides, she needs cash to buy water and repair her farm instruments. She estimates that the working capital itself would cost a minimum of rupees 3000. She does not have the money, so she decides to borrow from Tejpal Singh. A large farmer, Tejpal Singh, agrees to give Savita the loan at an interest rate of 24% for 4 months. Think about the amount of interest she will actually pay, which is a very high interest rate. Savita also had to promise to work on his field as a farm laborer during the harvest season as rupees 35 per day. See the inequality among the laborers, among the laborers and the farmers. How they pressurize these kind of small farmers to work on their land at such a low wage rate. As you can tell, this wage is quite low. Yes, I have told that this wage rate is not actually that is fixed by the government. She will have to work very hard to complete harvesting on her own land and then work as a farm laborer for Tejpal Singh. the harvest time is very busy time. As a mother of 3 children, she has a lot of household responsibilities. Savita agrees to these tough conditions as she knows getting loan is difficult for a small farmers. So, as Savita is a small farmer, she plans to cultivate wheat on her 1 hectare of land. Besides seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides, she needs cash to buy water. So she does not have any source of water. So she has to buy water and also repair her farm instruments for farming. She estimates that the working capital itself would cost a minimum of 3,000. So she decided to take loan from Tejpal Singh, a large farmer of Palampur. So Tejpal Singh agrees to give Savita a loan at an interest rate of 24% in 4 months. It is very much high because in 4 months the interest rate should get half actually, not 24%. It should be 12%. 12% is also very very large amount. It should be less than 12% also, because it is the time duration of repaying the loan is 4 months. So Savita also has to promise to work on Tejpal Singh's field as a farm labourer during the harvest time at a wage rate of rupees 35 per day. So wage rate is also very low because for repaying her loan she is actually hired for as a harvester also in the Tejpal Singh's field. So she has no other way to repay the loan. So she decided to take over this chance and repay the loan as well as cultivate her own field, because she has to harvest her own field as well as work as a labourer in Tejpal Singh's field. And as a mother of 3 children, she has a lot of responsibilities. But all these responsibilities and tough conditions cannot stop Savita, and she started working in this tough situation also. Number 7. I am not discussing these because these are actually fill in the blanks. You will read the chapter and you will do it by your own, because these are very easy. These are based on common sense and what the informations I gave you. So let us see number 7. Let us sale of surplus farm products. Let us suppose that the farmers have produced wheat on their lands using the 3 factors of production. The wheat is harvested and the production is complete. What do the farmers do with the wheat? They retain a part of wheat for the family's consumption and sell the surplus wheat. Small farmers like Savita and Govind's sons have little surplus wheat because their total production is small, and from this a substantial share is kept for their own family needs. So it is the medium and large farmers who supply wheat to the market. In picture 1.1 you can see the bullock carts streaming into the market, each carrying loads of wheat. The traders at the market buy the wheat and sell it further to shopkeepers in the towns and cities. Tejpal Singh, the large farmer, has a surplus of 350 quintals of wheat from all his lands. He sells the surplus wheat at the Raiganj market and has good earnings. What does Tejpal Singh do with these earnings? Last year Tejpal Singh had put most of the money in his bank account. Later he used his savings for lending to farmers like Savita who were in need of a loan. He also used the savings to arrange for the working capital for farming in the next season. This year, Tejpal Singh plans to use his earnings to buy another tractor. Another tractor would increase his fixed capital. Like Tejpal Singh, other large and medium farmers sell the surplus farm products. A part of the earnings is saved and kept for buying capital for the next season. Thus, they are able to arrange for the capital or farming from their own savings. Some farmers might also use the savings to buy cattle trucks or to set up shops. As we shall see, these constitute the capital for non-farm activities. So here it is told that let us suppose that the farmers produce wheats on their lands using the three factors of production, that is the fixed capital, labor, and other is what, the fixed capital, labor, and that is the land. So land, fixed capital, that is tools and machines, and labor, it is the land farmers are producing wheat, and the wheat is getting harvested and the production is complete. So they retain a part of the wheat for their family's consumption and sell the rest of the production in the market. So small farmers like Savita and Govind's sons have little surplus wheat because their total production is small, and from this substantial share they kept some amount for their own family. So for the medium and large farmers, so it is the medium and large farmers who actually sell their produce in the markets at a high rate of value and with large profits also. So in picture 1.1 we can able to see that a bullock cart is carrying the loads of wheat. The traders at the market buy the wheat and sell it further to shopkeepers in the towns and cities. Tejpal Singh, the large farmer that we read about in the purple box, large farmer has a surplus of 350 quintals of wheat from all his land. Think about the amount of wheat he has produced from all his lands. He sells the surplus wheat at the Raiganj market and has good earnings. So he then sells his produce in the Raiganj market and have good earnings. So what he do with his earnings? Last year Tejpal Singh had put most of the money in his bank account, and later he used these savings to lend farmers like Savita who were in need of loan. So he is actually using his earnings for lending loans as well as for buying his important equipments, like he also used the savings to arrange for the working capital for farming in the next season. He has also bought a tractor for increasing his fixed capital. Like Tejpal Singh, all other large and medium farmers sell their surplus farm products, and a part of their earnings are kept in the banks and they use it in the time of the farming, because they have to buy seeds as well as fertilizers and pesticides with the help of these earnings. Thus they are able to arrange for the capital for farming from their own savings. So they arrange all the capital from their own savings, because if we keep the money in bank, then they will get interest also, and if they are lending this money, then they also getting interest from the small farmers. So and farmers also use the savings to buy cattle, trucks, or to set up shops on their own so that they can sell their own produce, and also to set up non-farm activities. Now let us see more about the non-farm activities that are taking place in Palampur. We have learnt about farming as the main production activity in Palampur. We shall now take a look at some of the non-farm production activities. Only 25% of the people working in Palampur are engaged in activities other than agriculture. So rather than farming, there are many non-farm activities that are taking place in Palampur, but only 25% of the people are 25% of the people of Palampur are engaged in non-farm activities. Number 1, dairy, the other common activity. Dairy is the common activity in many families of Palampur. People feed their buffaloes on various kinds of grass and the jowar and the bajra that grows during the rainy season. The milk sold in Raiganj, the nearby large village. Two traders from Shahpur town have set up collection cum chilling centers at Raiganj, from where the milk is transported to far away towns and cities. Okay, So the most and best the most and the most practiced non-farm activity is dairy farming. Dairy is the common activity in many families of Palampur because most of the families possess buffaloes and cows, and they use the milk they use their milk to sell in the market and earn their livelihood. So they feed the buffaloes with the various kinds of grass and the jowar and bajra that they grow during the rainy season. The milk is sold. They sold the milk in Raiganj, which is nearby Palampur. The two traders have also set up collection cum chilling centers at Raiganj, so from where the milk is transported to far away towns and cities. So from the village Palampur, the milk is actually stored in the collection cum chilling center in Raiganj, which is set up by two traders in Shahpur. So dairy farming is very important in the village Palampur. Now let us see number 2. An example of small scale manufacturing in Palampur. At present, less than 50 people are engaged in manufacturing in Palampur. Unlike the manufacturing that takes place in the big factories, in the towns and cities, manufacturing in Palampur involves very simple production methods and are done on a small scale. They are carried out at home or in the fields with the help of family labor. Rarely laborers are hired. So another one is small scale manufacturing in Palampur. At present, there are less than 50% of people who are engaged in manufacturing in Palampur because most of them are engaged in farming and 25% is engaged, and after that comes dairy farming, then comes small scale manufacturing because it needs a lot of hard work also. Unlike manufacturing that takes place in big factories in the towns, manufacturing in Palampur involves very simple production methods and also done in small scale. Means there is only a small unit from where machines are not properly available, and most of the work is done by hands only, and they are carried out in the home or in the fields with family labor. Rarely any laborers are hired. So let us see in the purple box. Mistry Lal has purchased a mechanical sugarcane crushing machine run on electricity and has set it up on his field. Sugarcane crushing was earlier done with the help of bullocks, but people prefer to do it by machines these days. Mistry Lal also buys sugarcane from other farmers and processes it into jaggery. The jaggery is then sold to traders at Shahpur. In the process, Mistry Lal makes a small profit. So it's said that Mistry Lal, who has purchased a mechanical sugar cane crushing machine run on electricity, has set up in his own field. Sugarcane crushing is done earlier with the help of bullocks, but now people prefer it to do it by machines these days. So Mistry Lal buys sugarcane from other farmers and processes it into jaggery. The jaggery is then sold to the traders at Shahpur, and Mistry Lal somehow makes a small profit. Number 3. The shopkeepers of Palampur. People involved in trade, exchange of goods are not many in Palampur. The traders of Palampur are shopkeepers who buy various goods from wholesale markets in the cities and sell them in the village. You will see small general stores in the village selling a wide range of items like rice, wheat, sugar, tea, oil, biscuits, soap, toothpaste, batteries, candles, notebooks, pen, pencil, even some cloth. A few of the families whose houses are close to the bus stand have used a part of the space to open small shops. They sell eatables. So let us see another activity, that is shopkeepers in Palampur. People involved in trade, that is exchange of goods, are not many in Palampur because I have already told that most of the people are engaged in farming, and after that it comes to the dairy farming, and then it comes to the small scale manufacturing. So hardly there are people who have shops of their own and they sell products in the village. So the traders of Palampur, who are actually shopkeepers, buy various goods from the wholesale markets in the cities and sell them in the village. So if the people of village are unable to visit the cities, then they can get their necessary items from the village shop itself. So they generally sell rice, wheat, sugar, tea, oil, biscuits, soap, toothpaste, batteries, candles, notebooks, pen, pencils, and even some clothes. So all the necessary from stationery to crops like rice, wheat, sugar, tea, everything is available in that shop. And a few families who have houses near bus stand, they use the space to open small shops. They sell eatables like you can see in your nearby bus stands that there are many food shops who generally sell tea or any other items like puri and also the different kind of fries also. So if the shops are opened near bus stands, then it will attract more and more customers, because passengers generally eat from the shops in the bus stand only, because they are in a hurry and they don't have time to buy from the shops that are present in the market. So wherever the passengers see shops, these kind of shops, they generally buy for their for the travel they have to do. Now let us see an example. Karim has opened a computer class center in the village. In recent years, a large number of students have been attending college in Shahpur town. Karim found that a number of students from the village are also attending computer classes in the town. There were 2 women in the village who had a degree in computer application. He decided to employ them. He bought computers and set up the classes in the front room of their house overlooking the market. High school students have started attending them in good numbers. So see how Karim has utilized the space in his house. He has opened a computer class center in the village, and in recent years the number of students attending colleges in Shahpur town has also increased. So Karim found that the number of students from the villages are likely to attend computer classes for their betterment, because nowadays cyber jobs are important more than any other job. So he also decided to appoint 2 women who had a degree in computer application, so that they can teach the students, and he can run the computer class center well. So he decided to employ them. He also brought computers and set up classes in front of his house overlooking the market. And high school students have also started visiting his school very often. So it is also generating employment. The 2 women who have degree also got employment in the center, and Karim has utilized his space in giving a different kind of opportunity to the students living in the village. Number 4. Transport, a fast developing sector. There are a variety of vehicles on the road connecting Palampur to Raiganj. Rickshawalas, tongawalas, jeep, tractor, truck drivers, and people driving the traditional bullock cart and bogie are people in the transport services. They ferry people and goods from one place to another, and in return get paid for it. The number of people involved in transport has grown over the last several years. So another important activity, that is transport, the fast developing sector. There are many vehicles that connects the road of Palampur to Raiganj, like rickshawalas, tongawalas, jeep, tractor, truck drivers, and also people who drive the traditional bullock carts and bogies are people in transport services. They actually carry people and goods from one place to another, and in return get paid for it. The number of people involved in transport has grown over the last several years, because carrying people or goods from one place to another it is very important, and people can also get paid up to their own need, because they can charge any amount to carry those goods from one place to another, because it depends upon the good, that how much it is heavy, or how much time is needed to deliver. Kishora is a farm laborer like other such laborers. Kishora found it difficult to meet his family needs from the wages that he received. A few years back, Kishora took a loan from the bank. This was under government program which was giving cheap loans to poor landless households. Kishora bought a buffalo with this money. He now sells the buffalo's milk. Further, he has attached a wooden cart for his buffalo and uses it to transport various items. Once a week, he goes to the river Ganga to bring clay for pottery, or sometimes he goes to Shahpur with a load of jaggery or other commodities. Every month, he gets some work in transport. As a result, Kishora is able to earn more than what he used to do some years back. So, here is a case of Kishora, who is actually a farm laborer like other laborers. Like every farm laborer, he was also finding it difficult to meet his family's needs from the wages he received. So a few years back, Kishora took a loan from the bank, and this was under a government program that the bank was providing loans to poor landless households. So Kishora took a loan and brought a buffalo with that money. So now he sells the buffalo's milk, as well as he has attached a wooden cart to his buffalo and uses it to transport various items. Once a week, he goes to the river Ganga to bring back clay for pottery and deliver it to the potter. And also he goes to Shahpur with a load of jaggery or other commodities from the farmers to the traders. And every month he gets some work in transport. As a result, Kishora is now earning more than he used to earn some few years back. So you can see that how non-farm activities are actually providing more income source to the people of Palampur. From the examples, we can analyze that non-farm activities are much more important than farming activities, because if farming does not support you in one season, then non-farm activities will help you in that season only. So in this way, I have completed the chapter, and I will discuss the question answers in the next video, and I hope you have understood the chapter very well. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me in the comment section, or you can mail me in my personal email. I will also give some of the important questions from this chapter, but I am sorry that I have not marked any part, but I have told you that which parts are important for you. And this chapter is totally based on examples that you can see in our whole country actually, because these things are very important, and on the basis of our country, this chapter has given us much more information about the condition of the large, medium and small farmers, and even the agricultural laborers also. So I hope you have got everything from this video. If you have liked this video, then hit the like button, share it with your friends and families, and do subscribe to my channel for more contents. Thank you.